Hey guys, it's Friday and it is time for the exercise for the day. This is Dr. J and I'm bringing you your exercise for Friday. So today our exercise is going to be lateral step downs with the hip hinge. This is a great exercise if you're trying to maximize your potential for squatting, running, if you're just trying to help eliminate some of the muscle imbalances down in the lower back portion and the hip area. Some of the deficits that might be created from just a loss of hip strength, glute weakness, and deficits all the way down to the whole lower extremity there. So this is a great exercise for you. Go ahead and stick with me. I'm going to show you how to differentiate from hip hinging and squatting, and also carrying that over to lateral step downs. All right, guys, so before I teach you how to perform the full exercise, lateral step downs using a hip hinge, I need to show you how to properly hip hinge. So hip hinging is really meant to help give you that increased awareness, how to utilize your glutes properly, how to utilize your buttocks properly. So a lot of times if you're more quad dominant, you tend to shift your knees forward and not rely as much on your glutes to support you. Some of that can lead to some deficits, some issues at the lower back and the knees. So I'm going to show you how to properly hip hinge, but there is a difference between hip hinging and squatting. So I'll go ahead and show you squatting. Most people are familiar with squatting, so from the front view, squatting is just being with your knees, with your feet shoulder width apart. If I were to just have my hands here or here, going down into that squat, you notice that you can be, your knees are gonna pretty much go forward a little bit. You're gonna have some anterior translation of your knees going forward, and that's okay. So a few squats here, just to kind of show you. Okay, so that's a squat where you do have, like I said, have that anterior translation of the knee. But with the hip hinge, you're really not allowing your knees to be drawn forward. The knees are more perpendicular to your heels. So if you're hip hinging, you also initiate that movement from your hips. Then at the very end, you come directly up. So initiate movement from your hips and bring your hips forward. So I'll go ahead and show you this with a stick. The stick is going to give you increased awareness on how to keep your spine straight. So I've got this stick right on my back, and I'm going to take about a foot away from the wall or from the table. Feet shoulder width apart. Going to slowly, and it's a small, short movement, so you're going to just slowly lower with the butt tapping the table. As soon as your butt taps the table, you're going directly upright, using your glutes and your core. So here I'm bracing my abdominals, and I'm squeezing my buttocks. And as I said, your knees, in this case, if you're hip hinging, your knees are not going forward very much at all, okay? You're just going directly back, keeping your knees in line with the heel. So hip hinging is really good, and in fact it carries over to deadlifting, to kettlebell swings, to several other things. But so I would definitely recommend you mastering the hip hinge before we go on to any other activity. So I'm going to now show you how to perform the full lateral step down with the hip hinge. So here I'm actually using a 4-inch box. This is good, but you can also use a 6-inch box. The higher that you go, the more challenging it will be. But you'll start off by stepping your foot on the side of the box, then come up. So with this, I'm gonna have you first, and you can use some arm support just to start off with, but you'll start off by just slowly lowering your heel to the ground and tapping the ground, okay? So slowly lower your heel to the ground, tap the ground and come back up, utilizing your hips and core. Slowly lower, tap, and back up. I like to do this anywhere from 10 to 15 reps. And you should feel this directly in your glutes here, and some of your hamstrings. To a lesser degree, you'll feel this in your quads. If you notice any kind of back pain with this, or any pain at all, you should discontinue this exercise. That may be a sign of compensation or underlying pathology. Okay, so that's lateral step downs with the hip hinge. If you have any questions on this, definitely get back to me and let me know, and I would love to respond. This is Dr. J. You take care.